Imagine discovering that thousands of mothers lost their children, not because they were abusive, not because they were unfit, but simply because of who they loved. One debut novel has just brought that forgotten history back into the spotlight, and it's now winning one of the biggest book prizes in the literary world. In the 1980s, family courts in several Western countries routinely ruled against lesbian mothers in custody battles. Some estimates suggested as many as 90% lost legal custody of their children during divorce cases. It's a painful chapter of history that many people never heard about. But now, a powerful new novel is forcing the conversation back into the open. Debut author Claire Lynch has just won the top honor at the Nero Book Awards for her first novel, A Family Matter. And the story behind the book is just as powerful as the story inside it. At first glance, A Family Matter looks like a quiet literary novel. But underneath, it tackles something far deeper, a hidden injustice that affected thousands of families. The novel moves between the present day and the year 1982. In the modern timeline, a father and daughter live with a haunting mystery. Why did the girl's mother suddenly disappear from their lives? But as the story travels back in time, the truth slowly unfolds. The mother didn't leave voluntarily. She was pushed out, not just by the courts, but by society itself. For Claire Lynch, the idea for the novel started with a statistic that stopped her in her tracks. While researching social history, she discovered reports suggesting that up to 90% of lesbian women who had been married to men lost custody of their children in divorce cases during the 1980s. That number felt shocking. But what shocked her even more was how little people talked about it. Many of those cases were quietly buried in court transcripts and newspaper archives. Families often handled the situation in silence. According to Lynch, there was enormous social pressure on families of the time to remove what society considered embarrassment. In some cases, relatives believed the best solution was to separate the mother from the family entirely. The hope, or perhaps the illusion, was that if the child was young enough, they would eventually forget. Life would continue. The family would heal around the absence. But of course, reality is rarely that simple. Children grow up asking questions. Memories linger. And the truth always finds its way back. To write A Family Matter, Lynch didn't rely only on imagination. She went deep into historical research, studying real court cases and old newspaper reports. Some of the details she discovered were so disturbing that she says she didn't even need to exaggerate them for fiction. In fact, she admitted something striking. The real stories were already powerful enough. This approach gave the novel a sense of realism that resonated strongly with readers and critics alike, and it clearly resonated with the judges of the Nero Book Awards. The judging panel included renowned British writer Nick Hornby, along with journalist Rita Chakraborty and author and television creator Daisy Goodwin. Hornby praised the novel for its emotional intelligence and storytelling craft. He described it as both readable and thoughtful, the kind of book that people will continue thinking about long after they finish reading. And that might explain why the book made history. A Family Matter became the first debut novel in over a decade to win the overall prize, including during the earlier era of the awards when they were known as the Costa Book Awards. For a first-time novelist, that's an extraordinary achievement. But the story behind the award also raised some questions. Lynch previously worked for Brunel University London for 16 years and now serves as an honorary professor there. And Brunel happens to be one of the partners that provide funding support for the Nero Book Awards. Naturally, that connection caught some attention. But organizers quickly clarified that the university had no influence over the judging process. According to the award spokesperson, the selection process was handled entirely by the Booksellers Association, ensuring independence and fairness. In other words, the judges chose the book because they believed in it, not because of institutional ties. And when you look at the competition, the win becomes even more impressive. The awards also recognized other major works in different categories. The fiction prize went to Benjamin Wood for Sea Scraper. The nonfiction award was given to Sarah Perry for Death of an Ordinary Man. And the children's fiction category was won by Jamila Gavin for My Soul, A Shining Tree. Yet among all these books, it was Lynch's debut novel that ultimately took the gold prize. Along with the recognition, she also receives a £30,000 award, while the other category winners each take home £5,000. But perhaps the bigger reward is the conversation her book has started. Because A Family Matter isn't just about the past. It's about remembering stories that were once hidden and reminding readers how quickly societies can erase uncomfortable truths. Claire Lynch set out to write a novel about family, memory, and loss. Instead, she ended up shining a light on a forgotten chapter of social history. With A Family Matter, she tells the story of mothers separated from their children, families torn apart by prejudice, and the long emotional shadows that decisions like that can leave behind. The book's success shows that readers are still hungry for stories that uncover the past and challenge how we think about justice. And for a debut novelist, Winning the Nero Book Awards Gold Prize sends a powerful message. Sometimes the most important stories are the ones that history almost forgot.